They will go from being a superpower to a standard country.
Hmm.
And now, who's going to take their place?
You're watching the Spotlight Network, starring Hollywood's newsman,
And if you were just
Logan
trying to get to
Crawford.
investigators, they now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're speaking with prolific author Duman. He returns with To Russia with Love, a ripped from the headlines techno-thriller built around modern geopolitics and high-stakes covert operations, reuniting Delta Force intel operatives Jake Cannon and Slade Swanson from Path to Peril. The story introduces us to Gary Zimmerman, an Israeli nuclear scientist pulling readers into a pressure cooker mission with global consequences. At the center is a chilling cyber weapon concept, an advanced worm that could neutralize strategic nuclear capabilities, raising urgent questions about power, deterrence, and what happens when technology outpaces morality. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his wonderful books. The links are below this interview. Dale, great to see you here today. Thank you so much for joining me.
It's nice seeing you too, Logan, and I hope you're doing really well.
I'm doing great. It's great to have you on the show. And let's talk about To Russia with Love. Let's give the folks at home a little bit of an overview. Was it a specific headline or news item or trend that was the inspiration?
Okay, fine. First, I'll show you the first edition. This
Yep.
is the first edition of Russia with Love. Came out in August of 2025, and this is the second edition of Russia with Love. That came out in October of 2025. So
Okay.
I am a very prolific writer. I write a lot. That's my full-time job. As far as Russia with Love, it's based on the premise that if a country or countries can write a very technologically advanced virus that incorporates three main technologies, artificial intelligence, and also nuclear intelligence, and also the nanotechnology. Because the virus that I wrote for the book is works on the molecular level, and it is very advanced. It's called and it's based on quantum mechanics. I
Mhm.
forgot to mention that technology too, quantum mechanics. And I've done a lot of research on quantum mechanics, and of course, I am a computer scientist, so I know I have a good basic understanding of the sciences. And so this is based on a virus that first came out as Stuxnet I that incapacitated Iran's nuclear capacity for 10 years. It slowed them way down. And now I wrote this new virus, Stuxnet II, based on quantum science that will go ahead and take out Russia's nuclear capabilities, and they will vanish. And within minutes, Russia will no longer have any nuclear capabilities to advance. So they will go from being a superpower to a standard country.
Hmm.
And now, who's going to take their place?
Hmm. Exactly. I think it's a fascinating concept because when you think about nuclear power in 2026, uh, obviously it's computer driven, it's AI driven eventually. If you can disarm the computer component of nuclear strikes, you've largely disarmed the nuclear power, right?
Yeah, the beauty about this is Russia still has the material, they still have their missiles and warheads, on land-based and also on seagoing vessels such as ships and submarines, but they won't fire.
Hmm.
They can't get them to fire. So as I said, within minutes they're they're done. So I did a lot of research on this book, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the concepts of doing it, and I hope it will do well. And I'm also hoping that it will eventually be adapted to a full-length movie picture too, with one of the major studios. I'm
I
looking.
think that'd be wonderful. I mean, it's like I said, it's a very realistic, very plausible, very
It's on
thrilling
the horizon.
story. Yeah,
Yes, it's
yeah,
on the horizon now. So
absolutely.
yeah, so
And
I guess
Jake Cannon and Slade Swanson from Path to Peril are in this book as
yes,
well,
this
right?
is what I'm doing. I'm writing two series. The
Mhm.
first series is the Jake Cannon series, and Jake Cannon and Slade Swanson, the protagonists, and Pat the Peril will carry through all of the books that I write in that particular series. And I'm getting ready to write my next book. It is called Whitsick, which is based on the Federal Protection Witness Program. And
Mhm.
I've already have some of the material for the book because it's based on a short story that I wrote a while back. So that'll be
Awesome.
my next foray into the Jay Cannon series. And of course, Jay Cannon and Slade will follow through the entire series, of course. And I hope to build that into a franchise
Mm.
eventually.
Wonderful, wonderful. You've got Path to Peril there. Why don't you show us that book and talk to us a
Oh,
little bit
yeah.
about it?
Okay. This is the original copy. This is the only one left. There's a story about this. I wrote this quite a while ago. It was published in December 2012.
Mhm.
And the publisher that published the book unfortunately went out of service, went bankrupt in about 3 years later in about 2015. And so the book went out of print. I lost my royalties,
Mhm.
just as all the other authors that were in that house. They all lost the same thing I lost. And so I was a little upset for a while, and I didn't write for a while,
Yeah.
except for short stories. I wrote a lot of short stories. I also wrote quite a few computer articles. One of them was published in Computer World, and one of my stories, Cowboy's Last Days, was published in Lower Columbia College. And so I had two of those two in addition to my five books. And so, but eventually I thought to myself, I'm not going to let a publishing house ruin my dream. So then I started to write again, short stories, a lot of some poetry, and also I wrote, started to write my novels again. And then
Wonderful.
I wrote the second edition of Path to Peril, and that came out in November of 2024. And here's a copy of that book.
Awesome. Very
So
cool. Give us
I'll
a brief overview of that story.
yeah. Anyway, that that story is basically about how Jake Cannon and Slade Swanson uh, are on a ship called the Elizabeth Ann, and they're in the Indian Ocean, and they overcome the pirates from Somalia that try to take over the ship. And fortunately, they're with a contingent of black ops that are on the ship with them. So they outmaneuver them, and they kill a lot of the gunboats that the Somali pirates have. But that's merely a harbinger of things to come. What really is about this book is about the villain, Felix Jamosa.
Mhm.
Jamosa runs a big sports athletic apparel company, but that company is hiding his gun running activities. That's what
Mhm.
his main work is, and he eventually becomes involved and hooks up with two Middle East terrorists, El Hadi Zafar, and the other one, the very intelligent Syed Mustafavi. He's one of the most intelligent people in the world, and he sits down and develops a virus, Stuxnet one, that goes ahead and is able to plan to take down the United States infrastructure as far as their banks and their brokerage houses where all the money's at, and then transfer that somewhere to the Middle East. And so they pose a tremendous threat as far as not only taking down the United States, but also all the rest of the G20 nations along with them. Okay, so you can imagine
Yeah.
what happened to the world if that was the case. So Jake Cannon and Slade Swanson have to go through all of this. And um, Felix Jamosa and Jeffree Star, his brother-in-law, and the Middle East terrorists are so sophisticated that they're also running, get this, they're running corporations on the stock market, but they're phantom corporations. They're not
Right.
real. And you know, this is actually possible.
Exactly. It happens
This
all the
this
time,
can
really, right?
happen.
Yeah.
This can actually happen. And the thing is, it may be going on today and we don't
Right.
know about it.
Yeah. Yeah. These
It's
shell
possible.
corporations are around and
Yes.
about. Yeah.
Yes. So anyway, so they go in and pretty soon the investigation expands to involve the IRS and many other government agencies in order to track this and to figure out how they can stop this event from happening. And
Wonderful.
and if they and also within the book, I also write about the United States political agenda during that period of time, and I go into some of the pitfalls and some of the affairs, some of the things that the United States is doing wrong, and I also provide some solutions
Hmm.
for what is going on. But at the end of the book, I also say, you know, we may be going down a road to civil war.
Yeah.
Maybe. And I said this clear back in 2012.
Right. And here we are,
Here
14
we are.
years
Things are
later.
getting even more worse today.
Yeah. We're so divided. We're so
Yes, we
divided.
are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So
Dale,
going
we're
on.
down to our last 5 minutes, and I want you to
Oh,
talk about your other books as well. So
okay.
let's
I will.
bring out some of those.
Okay. My other novel is Wolfscape here. This is based on paranormal survival, fantastical genre, and it's it's about a married couple, Ellis and Frank Thompson, that go ahead and vacation in their winter cabin above Telluride, Colorado in the wintertime.
Hmm.
Well, it doesn't take long before their Chevy Blazer freezes up and it's dead. They can't use it. Alice has forgot the phone chargers for the cell phone. Besides, the cell phone isn't going to work up there anyway because they don't have
Hmm.
Wi-Fi. They have to get further down the mountain to get Wi-Fi, so it's not going to work anyway. And then they're running out of fuel and food.
Hmm.
So Frank has to make the life-altering decision to walk 22 miles back to town, back to Telluride. Otherwise, they won't survive.
Hmm.
So he goes ahead and starts his trek. Well, well, on his trek, he encounters a wolf named Rollo, who is undergoing a supernatural premonition. He's not a normal wolf anymore, and they get into a fight. And then Rollo also has a doppelganger
Hmm.
that comes in to help Frank with the fight, and he chases his nemesis away. He chases Rollo away. Finally, Frank gets to Telluride, and he gets into the hospital there, and he's taken care of. And at the end of the book, they're back in Wilmington, North Carolina. This is where they live at. And at the end of the book, Alice wondering if this event really occurred or not.
Wow.
Kind of leaves the audience guessing did this really happen, or is
Yeah.
this a figment of Alice Thompson's mind?
Amazing, amazing. That sounds wonderful as well. Any more books in that stack you want to talk to us about, or have we covered them
Wolf,
all?
Wolfscape 2 is coming out. I'm not done with it. I'm almost through. It'll be done in about a month, and that's based on a kid that is his father is the kingpin of the Sinaloa cartel,
Hmm.
and he's definitely afraid that his son is going to be taken from him from the competing Tijuana cartel. So he goes ahead and takes him to this wonderful place that where his father went to in the summertime. He takes his child there and he leaves his child there, hoping that he'll be back in 2 or 3 years to pick his child up. But in the meantime, when he gets back, his father gets cancer,
Hmm.
and he's in real bad shape, and he can't do it. So he doesn't get back to his son until his son is 18 years old.
Wow.
He gets back to him then, and there's a big fight going on because the cartels coming in, the Tijuana cartels coming in, and and of course he's the head of the Sinaloa cartel, and all the Mexican authorities are also coming in there. So you have these three forces coming in at the same time, and there's a big fight going on. But anyway, his son and his dad, they come out alive, and his son becomes to be a very very famous biologist in knowing what wolves are like because he has wolves there. The title of the second book is Wolfscape 2
Mhm.
in parentheses where the wolves are, and that talks about all the wolves that are being produced now by genetic engineering,
Wow.
and these wolves are like from 12,000 years ago.
Hmm.
They're called dire wolves, and so
Wow.
dire wolves are there too during the fight because his son Juan is the dad's name, and his son is Miguel, and Miguel it lives there with these wolves. So the wolves help protect Miguel while all this fighting is going on. But eventually, like I said, the fighting subsides and they get out of there alive. And eventually, Miguel becomes the foremost scientist in what wolves are like.
Amazing. Want to ask you this. We have just a couple of seconds left. You have great news on the creative front. Apparently, you're in talks with some movie companies about your books.
Well, yes, I have. What I did is I worked with Anthony Perry Hunt. He's a writing team, and he has wrote the materials for Path to Peril, and the materials are the screenplay, the Hollywood theme, the storyboard, and the pitch deck.
Okay.
All four of those. And the movie studios require that. So I
Hmm.
have that all set to go. The only thing I need is to find a movie studio to accept those. And
And
then
which book are you going to focus on?
I, I'm going to focus, well, first of all, I'm going to focus on Path to Peril. I want to get a movie contract
Yeah.
for
Yep.
Path to Peril.
That'd be
But I
great.
have the same for Wolfscape.
Yep.
Uh, Sean Crunch has written the same materials for Wolfscape too. And that's adapted to a television series such as Netflix, and I
Mm.
already have the 12 episodes written
Wonderful.
that series. So I'm really at a point where I need a literary agent to help me along the curve to get these contracts so I can get these movie contracts for these two books to begin with. And then I got
Okay.
more books, of course.
Sounds good. Well, you've got a lot of books out there. They're all compelling, they're all riveting, they're all creative, and they're all unique. The book we've been focusing primarily on today, among the others, is To Russia with Love, written by Dale Duman. It is a high-stakes geopolitical techno-thriller where covert operators confront the terrifying reality of cyber power at the strategic level. Dale, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure working with you, Logan, and I hope to work with you again sometime.
Look forward to having you back on the show anytime. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time.